I am using marine spirits to get men that are married. I am sick and tired of the things that I am doing. I don't even know the number of men that I have slept with ever since I have come to South Africa. On social media, men, they are always chasing after me. Some of them, they even tell me that they are tired of masturbating using my pictures. I feel sorry for them because they do not know that it is not that they find me to be attractive, but once you masturbate using my pictures, that spirit that is inside of me, which is a marine spirit, will locate you and you will have a love covenant with it. And every night it will demand that you please yourself because this makes you to become filthy before God. How are you, Brother Nash? Please hide my identity. I have written this to you because I am looking for someone that can cleanse me. I do have a spirit that destroys marriages. And honestly, when I was told by a certain prophet, I now believe it because myself, I have seen things happening in my life that are not normal at all. My name is Lydia. I was born in Blawayo. I am 27 years old now. I am beautiful, this I know, but it is not normal for about 20, 30 guys on your inbox on Facebook, all of them telling you that whenever they look at your pictures at night, then they start masturbating. When I post these pictures on Facebook, these are like your decent pictures, just wearing a normal dress. Maybe I would have gone to church and you see a guy coming to your inbox telling you that I can't resist you. I just had to please myself because if I could not do that, I was going to feel so bad throughout the night, losing sleep. So it is because of the marine spirits. That is what makes me to be so attractive, such that a man will end up doing such a sin. I came to South Africa when I was still young because life back home, it was very difficult. I stayed under my stepfather's roof and he had his own kids from another marriage. When they came to the house, they had that thing of, this is our father's house. So it was very difficult. Me and my friend, we then came to South Africa. I arrived in old days. If you know that place, there are a lot of farms there. I started to work on a farm, and brother, farm life, it is very hard. We would wake up sometimes around 5 a.m. and then the truck will come and collect us and go with us to the fields, and it will be freezing cold. We were doing tomatoes and we were just working, and it was not a lot of money that we were getting paid. So that is where I met a man. He was a Soweto man. He was one of the supervisor. I will call him Taviso. And I did not know that he was a married man. He was very nice to me, and he would bring me snacks and help me with money. I fell in love with him. But then actually at that time, I was someone who just wanted anyone who loved me. After some months, I found out that the man had a wife, not only a wife, but he had children too. And his children, they were staying with the wife in Pulukwane. So he was taking that advantage that I would never find out. When I confronted him, he started lying to me because whenever he would go and see his relatives in Pulukwane, each and every Friday, when he would come back on Sunday, I would have this strong desire to sleep with him, but he would be weak because his wife would have emptied him over the weekend. So he would blame the alcohol when he would perform less in bed, and I would watch his semen, and I would see that this is a man that has been ejaculating over and over again. He ended up telling me that him and his wife, they did not love each other anymore, but the wife ended up knowing about me. From that moment on, my life changed. I started going into endless periods, and I had one of my panties that was missing. A week, 2 weeks, 1 month. Eventually, I was on my period for almost a year. I was just bleeding. I went to different clinics. I took pills, but nothing was working. The other women at the farm, they told me that I had been bewitched. By that time, I was already terrified. And I eventually left the farm and I went to Pulukani. This was in the year 2012. So I was living in a location that is called Stenin. It was just a place where people were just building their houses there, and there were shacks everywhere, and the rent, it was very cheap. And I started to stay close to these other women. They were other women who would go to the N1 highway and they would meet up with truck drivers. And I used to mock them and I would be like, so you came all the way from Zim just to do prostitution. But brother, when you are in such an environment, you don't become sensitive. You end up becoming like those people that are around you. Poverty will change you. One woman named Portia was the one who was most desired by men. Daily, she would come back with a lot of money, and I used to beg her for some food. And then she said that she wanted to go with me so that I could see the way that they were hustling. And then I went with him. As time went on, she was like my big sister. And one day I asked her, how is it that we are not working, yet you are working, sleeping with a lot of guys, giving you a lot of money? How do you get men to love you like that? Brother Nashi, she just laughed. She then gave me a small bottle of oil, and then she said that you need to apply this before you go to work. I did not believe anything, but from that week, things started changing. Truck drivers would see me and instantly start loving me in strange ways. And these were like real relationships, and they would give me money each and every time that they were passing through our place. Brother Nashi, the first time when I was using this oil, I was so terrified because I had never used any kind of a charm in my entire life. And men, they were following me like crazy. Other men, they would even threaten me with suicide if I was going to break up with you. One driver would be like, I can't forget you. I love you, mama. As for Portia, she just told me that this oil that she was using and was giving to me, it just made men to come to us. Since we were prostitutes, we liked this because more customers, this meant more money for you. I did not pay it any mind until Portia was arrested. She went out and the police caught her because she did not have a passport, and then she was deported. I never saw him again. And I was tired of prostitution and the police, they were always raiding us. I then moved to Soweto and I found a job as a maid. I thought maybe my life was going back to normal, but that is when things truly terrified me. During the first week, when I started working for my boss started looking at me weird. When I was bending over, he would be looking at me. I even caught him masturbating one day when I was busy cleaning. He had his manhood out when the madam boss was out, just doing his stuff, looking at me. And it was very scary for me. He stopped doing that and he started to buy me gifts, begging me to sit on his lap whenever the madam had gone out. One day he knelt down crying like a baby. Please, Lydia, I love you. A grown married guy. That is when I started to get scared because I slept with him. And when I was sleeping with him, there were tears that were flowing down from his eyes. And he was like, I have never been treated so nice in such a way. I love you. From there on, I stopped working for this family because he was saying that he is even willing to shoot his wife so that the wife can die and me and him, we can enjoy, we can get married. I thought that he was crazy and I got another job. Every married man that I have worked for, they end up going mad. Whenever I am in their house, they start going mad and their marriages, they start to fall apart all because of me. Brother Nashi, after all these things that were happening, I started to notice that my life was no longer normal. The attention that I was being given by countless men, it was just too much. There was a time when I was dating like 20 guys at the same time. They knew each other. They never fought with each other. They never fought with me if I did not give them time. They were just sending me money at all the times. There was a time when I was working for this other woman. I was busy ironing in this other room, and then her husband followed me and started touching me and lifted up my skirt and started sleeping with me. The woman then came into that room and she saw that shocking thing that we were doing. She just cried. Later on, she came to me and she said, "Lydia, please leave my husband." And these men, I never loved them, but they kept on following me as if they were zombies with no self-control. I would quit a job immediately after the wife would have found out. But this problem kept on following me everywhere. I would get another job within a few months. It was the same story. The boss changing, looking at me, starting to buy things, asking to sleep with me. One Indian boss even went as far as divorcing his wife because he was into me so crazy. And the thing that terrified me was when this man started to act like he was possessed. One even came to the room I was renting, crying, "I have no peace. If I don't see you, please sleep with me and I can return back to my wife." I had already started fearing myself because there was one day I was the last person on the taxi. And when I told the taxi driver that I wanted to get off from the taxi, he then started crying and he told me that when he looked at me, his ancestors had told him that I was supposed to become his wife. Yo, it was so scary. This man, he kept on driving and driving as if he had lost his mind. And when we were on the freeway, the way that he was speeding, saying, "Lydia, give me an answer. Do you love me or not?" I was afraid that he was going to commit suicide and kill me as well. And then I agreed. He then stopped his taxi and he came to where I was seated and he started touching me as he was crying real tears. We ended up sleeping in that taxi. After we had slept together, that was when he came back to his senses and he said, "Sorry, I never meant to do such a thing. I'm really sorry. I love you." But I understood that this was normal to me because this kept on happening. When I saw that now there are even men that are threatening to rape me, I eventually went to a certain Mozambican woman who was a sangoma. This woman then told me the first time around that I have marine spirits. So I did not even believe him. And I continued with my life for about 2 years. When I was nearly raped by another guy, there are these agents that can help you to get a job. So he was like, he knows people with supermarkets, like your big supermarkets, and he could get me hired. I was supposed to go and meet him up in this other office block in Joburg downtown. I went and I saw that he was inside this office. It did not have anything apart from a chair and a table. As we were talking, he started to pull out his manhood. He was asking me to give him a blowjob, and then he locked the door. Brother, I screamed, and the people next door, they knocked, and then that was when he went on his knees and he said that I am a married man. I do have 2 daughters. Please do not get me arrested because I do not know what is going to happen to them if it happens that I get arrested. I felt sorry for him because I knew that maybe there was something spiritually that had happened to him. So I said, okay, it's fine. I opened the door and I walked away, leaving him to explain to other people why I had been screaming. So I finally went to another prophet from Zim, and this prophet then prophesied everything and asked me if I have ever used any type of an oil that will make men to come to me. And I said, yes. I told her the whole story. And then she said that there are things that can attract men, especially those with money or those that are married. Rather, from there on, I started to see patterns in my life. Most of the men that go crazy about me, they are married, they are successful, older than I am. And if I agreed to date these men, their marriages, they just fall apart, their businesses, there will be too much confusion. And I was then told by that prophet that in order for me to be cleansed, he needed money, in which this money that he wants, I do not have. That is why I have come to you. If you know anyone that is willing to assist me for free without asking for any sexual favors, you know my inbox. The people can give you their contacts and then I can speak with them. I do not want to do this anymore. I have been told by the prophet that this mermaid, it is the one that attracts all of these men to you so that it can feed on their success, on their gifts that they have been given by God. And by the time that you leave them, they would be worthless before God. That is why poverty will come into their life so quick. I am 27. I do not have a person that I can call my own. Men love me, yes, but these men, I hypnotize them. They are nice when I sleep, and I see myself being invited underneath the water, and I refuse. And then I see a mermaid that will be following me, going with me everywhere that I would be going to. When you post my story, please tell me. I just hope that there is someone that can help me to do a cleansing ceremony. But please tell your listeners that I do not have a lot of money. I just need someone that can help me for real. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our DM sister. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with him in the comment section. Can you imagine? Yeah, name. She's saying that she is using the marine spirits to attract men that are married, and then after that, the marine spirits, it destroys the marriage of that man. You can come with your story to our inbox on Facebook at Brother Nashim. I'll be back with another episode.